The change of name had not had any visible effect. Oslo Police District HQ seemed just as uncomfortable with its surroundings as Oslo Police Station had always been. On its eastern side stood the old Oslo prison, formerly a national institution for long-term prisoners and now downgraded to a mere county jail on account of changing circumstances and a lack of financial resources. Grønland Church loomed on its western flank, defiantly and patiently awaiting visitors in an area of the city where half the residents were Muslim, and the other half had barely seen the inside of a house of prayer since they were christened. The optimism that had infused the rest of old Oslo, and seen house prices double in the space of a year, had never reached the hill on which the police district HQ was located, with the main road, Åkebergveien, tucked in behind it. A station is and will always be a station, Hanne Wilhelmsen said emphatically, slinging a case folder into a corner. Since I began in the police force, this place has been reorganized a zillion times. Don't touch those! She made a lunge for the man who, having leaned over her, had already nabbed 4 chocolate bananas from a blue enamel bowl on her desk. The man helped himself to 3 more. "Billy T!" Hanne said furiously, slapping him so hard on the backside of his tight jeans that it sounded like an explosion. "Leave them alone, I said. Anyway, you're starting to get really fat. Gross." "Comfort padding," Billy T grinned, giving himself a smack on the belly before sitting down in the visitor's chair. "I'm getting so much good food these days." "Which quite simply means you're getting real food," Hanne said tartly, "instead of all the junk you've lived on for as long as I've known you. I've loads to do, as a matter of fact." She cast an encouraging glance in the direction of the door he had just slammed behind him. "Fine," Billy T beamed, picking up the Dog Blod newspaper that lay on a shelf under an overflowing ashtray. "I'll wait. Hell, you've started to smoke again." "Not at all," Hanne said. "Having a cigarette now and again certainly doesn't mean that I smoke." "Now and again," Billy T mumbled, already immersing himself in an article about new motorbikes coming out that spring. "That means once in a while. Are those butts there a whole year's worth, eh?" Hanne Wilhelmsen did not answer. The man who sat reading a newspaper while discreetly picking his nose on the opposite side of her desk looked larger than ever. Billy T had measured 6'7" in his stocking feet since he was 18. He had never been slim. He would soon turn 40, and in the past 6 months must have put on 45 pounds. It looked as though the extra weight had also done something to his height. Even when seated, it was as if his shape had no actual beginning or end. He filled the room with something Hanne could not quite figure out. Hanne leafed through a well-thumbed textbook on criminal law, pretending to read while she stole secret glances at Billy T through her bangs. She ought to get a haircut. He ought to go on a diet. Hanne Wilhelmsen had long ago given up trying to work out her relationship with Billy T. He was definitely her best pal. Over the years they'd fallen into a modus vivendi like that of a symbiotic old married couple, using a bickering, sarcastic tone that vanished in an instant if one realized the other was being serious. Hanne caught herself wondering how close they really were. In recent months she had started to question whether she was capable of being close to anyone, apart from brief, transitory moments. Something had happened between Hanne and Billy T late one Thursday evening 5 months earlier. When she closed her eyes, she saw him lurching into her apartment, drunk as a sailor. The entire block must have heard him when he roared in delight that he was going to marry them.